I've been waiting for this parcel from Japan for so long, and it's finally turned up, so let's find out what's inside. It's been a while because I just kept accumulating things on the Bai website, so let's see what I remember out of these very nicely wrapped packages right here. Let's see, where should we start? Left or right? Left or right? Let's go with right first. Try not to cut the games inside. And the games themselves are all individually wrapped up too. I'm kind of scared of damaging this one because this one was like £100 if I remember right, which surprisingly is a lot cheaper than what you can find on eBay. So hopefully I enjoy the game. I went a little bit crazy when I got those Wonderswans that you might have seen in a previous episode that my friend Kwang lent me, and I've been desperate to get some more games to check out before I have to give it back. So here's the first game that I ordered, and it is called Sorrowbang, and it seems like it's one of the few Wonderswan games that are expensive that you can actually enjoy completely in English. So there we go. Really nice condition box. The instructions right here. In colour as well, with some really nice illustrations in there. Very much looking forward to checking this game out. So that is one down, and I don't know how many left to go. Let's have a look at what this next one is. And there was still a bunch of games that unfortunately I just couldn't afford, so I might end up doing my video and picking some of the other ones up a bit later on. But this one is called Millennium, and the condition of this one is nowhere near as nice as the first game that we unwrapped. Here we go. This one's another puzzle game. This one is called Millennium. I can actually read this one in English. And it looks like an interesting puzzle game where you kind of guide Tetris blocks down the screen, and I guess you're just trying to get from the bottom to the top of the screen. Let's check out whether it's got instructions. Yes, it does, although it doesn't have a protector for the cartridge, but the cartridge is right there. So looking forward to giving that one a go later. And all of this is for my Wonderswan Top Games video, which is coming very soon. Kind of a spin on the regular Top Games videos, because this one is just going to be top games that you can enjoy with no language barrier, which is of course very important when you're talking about an import system like the Wonderswan and Wonderswan Color. So this next one is one of many Digimon games. I basically got this one just to show off a Digimon game because there's loads that I want to talk about, but this one seemed really interesting. It seems like a RPG with some really nice battle sequences and really nice graphics. So there is the third game. Now the next one I'm sure a lot of you will have heard of before. This one is Magical Drop. Of course another puzzle game for the system, because puzzle games don't really have any sort of language barrier. So here we go. Magical Drop for Wonderswan. It is a black and white release for the system, but I did actually play this one a little bit already on the flash cart that Kwang very kindly lent me as well. So very happy to actually own my official copy of Magical Drop for the Wonderswan. And I love the box art on this game. It just looks fantastic. And Magical Drop's a really fun game as well. Probably my favourite Data East game actually. Now we're on to the second package, and there is something non-Wonderswan related in here as well. Well, kind of. We'll get to that in just a minute. Something even more exciting, and it's the first thing there, but I'm actually going to show them off in reverse order, leaving a little bit of suspense, saving the best thing for last. Let's see what this is. I don't remember ordering this one, but there is a Wonderswan game here without a box. I think I remember that the box was a little bit too expensive. That's kind of cute. They put a little thank you sticker on the cartridge right there. So let's get into this. It looks like this is a game by Sunsoft. And oh, I remember this one. This is the Picross game. Something Guru Logic puzzle. And it's basically the same style as the Mario Picross for the Game Boy, except this one's really cute, and it takes a little bit more advantage of the widescreen to allow you some much bigger puzzles, so I'm really excited to give this one a go. And of course Picross has no language barrier, obviously. Right, next is quite possibly the most interesting game that I've found for the Wonderswan, and one that I've very much enjoyed playing on the emulator using a ROM. So when I found this one on Bai, I knew I had to grab this one, because it is probably my favourite of the games that I've played on there so far. This is called Buffer's Evolution. And wow, the quality of the box here is immaculate. This is really nice. Really bright, vibrant colours too. And what an interesting game this is as well. I'll save the description for all these games for the actual full Wonderswan Top Games video that's coming soon. But basically this is an action platformer where you have to sort of compete in time trials and do different races, and you get to choose one of these 3 robots. It's such a fun game, so I'm really happy to own this one. Now next is Chocobo's Dungeon, of course an absolute classic, and the Wonderswan game seems really good so far. There is actually an English translation patch for this as well, which I downloaded, which is really great. So that's it for the Wonderswan games. So I actually ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new titles for the Wonderswan to add to my collection. So I'm very excited to have all of those. But the final thing here is even more exciting, and I did actually buy the other one before. So these are actually the final 2 games that Gunpei Yokoi ever made before he unfortunately passed away in late 1997. So I'm so happy to have these 2, and of course I'm going to do a video about Gunpei Yokoi and about these games in particular, so I really hope you're looking forward to that. I'm so happy to have both of these for my collection. Honestly, this is a dream come true, just holding these 2 right here. I'm just so happy, really, honestly, this is fantastic. So yeah, maybe you don't understand why I'm so excited to have these, but yeah, so excited. And I would love to get the other LCD range as well. These are numbers 4 and 5, but there are a bunch more, so have a look at the picture that's over the screen right now to see what else I need for that. So that is it for the stuff that came from Japan, but there is a load more interesting things right here, so let's get right into it. First up, we have a game from the Bit Generation series for the Game Boy Advance. This is called Dial Hex, and the reason that I am so blown away, overjoyed to actually have this game and to find it actually getting delivered through the post. This was actually a present from a very kind Patreon supporter, so you know who you are. Thank you so much. I honestly do not expect people to send me things. I don't have a PO box or anything, so I am extremely grateful. Maybe I should set one up in the future, but it is quite expensive, so just honestly, this was just incredible to see this come through the post. And I do have one more up here on the shelf from the Bit Generation series, and I would love to try and get all of them to do a video on the entire series in the future because they are really interesting. So thank you so much for sending this my way. You know it's gone to a good home. I really do appreciate it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't you already have Link's Awakening? Well, yes, I did, but I didn't have it complete in box. And when I did my top Game Boy games video recently, I really wanted to be able to show off the box for the game. So I kind of dabbled in the CEX lottery, and it turns out that I actually won the jackpot because this was quite affordable compared to some of the prices on eBay, and it's actually in really nice condition. There are a few scratches here and there, but you know, they didn't say it was mint, and I'm very happy. And it did actually have the original instruction book inside as well, which is really nice. I'd never actually seen the instructions for the Game Boy Link's Awakening before, so I'm very happy to add this to my collection. And if you haven't seen my Game Boy Top Games video yet, then definitely check it out on the channel. It's one of my best performing videos of the year so far, and I'm really looking forward to doing a follow-up when I talk about some of my favourite Game Boy Color games soon. So subscribe if you want to see that, because it is going to happen soon. I just want to collect a few more games complete in box to show off in that video, because I do think it makes a difference to actually show off the physical games when I'm doing these top games lists. I could easily just record the games on an emulator or just share the footage and not really show this personal connection to the games, but I think it's really cool to actually see the list and to actually see the games in person and know that they've actually gone into a really good collection like mine. So that is why I like to try and only show games that I actually own physically, rather than just showing the ROMs. It just makes it feel like I've put a little bit more effort into the list, so I do hope that you appreciate that, because it does cost me quite a bit of money, so I hope it is worth it. Right, let's skip forward to the modern day, shall we, as these were the next 2 on the list here. So, surprisingly, I never actually owned this. We picked it up recently to play it when I had a few friends round on the weekend, and we had a great time playing through it. This is Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, one of my favourite games on the Wii U, and now one of my favourite games on the Switch. And I'm very much looking forward to Super Mario Wonder. When that comes out in a few months' time, I'm so excited. I'm a massive fan of the 2D Mario series, and I'm so glad that they're returning it, and it looks like it's going to be one of the best games that Nintendo's ever made. I'm so excited. And talking about one of the best games that Nintendo's ever made, this is Pikmin 4, and oh my god, I have become completely obsessed with this game. It's literally all I've been playing every single day after work when I'm not filming a video. I'm downstairs in the living room putting my feet up and very slowly making my way through Pikmin 4. I'm about 40 hours in now, and that is just insane for the Pikmin series. I could have finished all 3 of the other games in the series in half the time it took me to get through Pikmin 4, but I've absolutely loved every minute of it. if you're interested in the series, I feel like this is a great place to start as well. Going back to the past, kind of, these are some modern Game Boy games that I've got recently. Let's start with this one, which actually came through the post today, a few hours ago. This is Hime's Quest, and the reason this is so interesting is that this is an official Game Boy game made by Crunchyroll, the anime studio, or the anime streaming website, shall I say, and it was published by Limited Run. So let me know down in the comments if you would like me to check out Hime's Quest on the channel. I have to say that the artwork on this just looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm really curious to see what the game's about as well. It's been a long time coming. I remember I bought this maybe a year ago at this point, so I'm glad it's finally here. I'm very much looking forward to checking it out. And a few other Limited Run games. I briefly mentioned this one in my Limited Run video. Finally, A Boy and His Blob turned up. I won't really spend much more time talking about that because I'm not a huge fan of the game, honestly. And here's one that I actually forgot that I backed on Kickstarter, I think. This one's called The Train, and I don't know anything about this game, so let me know down below whether you'd like me to check this one out, because although I've kind of retired from doing Game Boy homebrew videos, if I do get enough through the post, like ones that have come from before I kind of gave up on the whole idea, then maybe I'll do another video. And talking about Game Boy homebrew, the final one in this video is a game called Melon Journey, which also came through from Limited Run. And the interesting thing about this one is that it's actually a remake of an old RPG Maker game. And if you want to know more about this, I did briefly touch upon this one as well in my Limited Run Game Boy games video, so check the description to go and check that one out after this. And now for a few games that I picked up recently from two different game shops, I believe. So let's start with the first two here. Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast that I picked up in York recently when I went to visit a friend for their wedding in York. And of course I couldn't not stop by Sore Thumbs, so I picked up Sonic Adventure 2, and I also picked up Digimon World as well for the PS1, which I've heard is a really good game. No idea what to expect with Digimon World, but with Sonic Adventure 2 I did actually play all the way through this on Twitch, and I had a great time doing so. If you'd like to see the VOD for that, I've actually uploaded it to my gameplay channel, and of course subscribe while you're over there if you want to catch all of my streams. Then of course check out Twitch to watch the streams when they're live, but also check out the gameplay channel on YouTube to find them after the fact, so if you do miss them then you can go back and watch them right there. And I did play all the way through this, and I do plan to turn the game and play streams into videos here. I did one recently for Sonic Adventure 1, and I will be doing a follow-up for Sonic Adventure 2, so check that video out and then look forward to seeing that. And the other game that I got for the PlayStation 1 here is a game that I got from CX in the town centre, actually. I just found it in the pile. And this is Jade Cocoon, and I've been slowly playing through this one. I've done 2 playthroughs of it on Twitch so far, and I'm about 5 hours in, and I'm really enjoying what I've played so far as well. I'd heard great things, and for the most part it is living up to those expectations, although it is quite slow. I'm not a huge fan of the battle system, honestly, but everything else is fantastic. I love the graphics, I love the story so far, and it seems like there's a lot more to enjoy. So look forward to more streams and more gameplay from that coming soon. And now to end these pickups, I've got 2 books, or magazines I guess you could say. So the first one is the GB Studio magazine. So my friends over at GB Studio Central actually made this magazine, which is kind of a mix of some of the blog posts that they've done and a few articles as well from some people in the community. So if you're interested in Game Boy Homebrew and Game Boy Studio in particular, then definitely check out their magazine. Hopefully they do more issues, because I do really like what they've done with this. Of course, they've done a great job with the layout, and I just love fanzines, so I was very excited to get that through the post. And finally, this massive tome here, this is The Untold History of Game Developers Volume 5, and I'm sure you know by now that I'm a massive fan of the untold history of Japanese game developers, so I was very excited to find out that John had released another volume, and this one is just insanely big. It doesn't cover Japanese games, well, not entirely. This one actually covers a lot of his work on his website and over on places like Nintendo Life and various other websites and articles that he's wrote, and now it is all in one really nice physical volume, so definitely check that out if you're interested in gaming history. And if you're interested in gaming history, I did actually do a video last week about some of my favourite gaming history books as well, so click up there and watch that video next. Goodbye.